What's going on, co-rollers? This is Po Boy coming back at you. Hey guys, today we're going to be working on the front clip for the race truck, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do so. You don't want to miss this stuff out. So, as you guys know, on the previous video, we were doing part of what's going to be the front clip of the race truck. So we had to put basically all the panels back on the front of one of the trucks, the gas bomb, as we know it here. And, you know, we got all the headlights, all that good stuff on, because we need to make a mold. Now, however, there are some key components and key things that we need to do before all that process takes place. So we're going to start doing a little bit more in-depth of a tutorial, let's call it that way, so you guys can learn how to do it as well, maybe save you guys some money. So let's jump right to it. Alright, co-rollers, so we're back over here with the gas bomb, and as you guys see, I do have the hood open. Now, don't be afraid about that part, because we're not really going to be messing with the hood or any of the fenders or the grill right now. However, we do need to address this part right here, the cowl, or whatever you want to call it, where all the windshield wiper stuff goes. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out, and we're gonna be doing a little bit of work with that over in the table. So bear with me, and I'll see you there in a second. All right, co-rollers, so as you guys see, we were able to get the cowl, or the, I don't know, windshield wiper guard, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what to call it. I usually call it a cowl. But yeah, the reason why I removed this again was I never really installed it the first time that I put this back on the last video. I just set it out on there. But the reason I got it out is because, as you guys see, there's a lot of holes over here and little holes here, and we got the sprayer nozzles for the windshield washer fluid, and we also have the antenna. And in order for us to do the fiberglass front clip, it's gonna need to be made with this part together, due to the fact that it'll make it a whole lot sturdier. Granted, there may be some changes a little bit further down the line. If I was able to, let's say, find a cowl, and not this cowl, but a cowl, a regular cowl hood scoop, to add on to the piece we're making. Now, the way I would do that, if I was to come by one, would be actually by setting the cowl on top of the existing hood, and I would mold it in by doing body filler, or I got a little trick up my sleeve that you guys might appreciate and could save you tons of money, believe it or not, since body filler is a little bit more expensive. But yeah, let's just call it body filler. With body filler, you could just, you know, shave it up and shape it in order for it to look as a one-piece section, and then you make the fiberglass mold. Now, we're gonna get started with this. It is dirty, it is dingy, and one of the biggest things that you need to do in order for things to work out right is cleaning it up. And the way we're gonna clean that up is with some acetone. Now, I got some duplicolor acetone here, which we will be using to clean it up. However, like I mentioned before, we have some nozzles, we have the antenna that we need to remove before we even get started cleaning and all that good stuff. So let's jump right into that part there, and let's see how it goes. So I am doing a tutorial, which is a little bit different from what I usually do. As you guys know, I do a lot of time lapses. I don't want to bore you guys, but I kind of figured that you guys might want to keep your eyes set for this one, because this could really save you money, especially if you are doing a build of this magnitude, or even if you want to make a part or two, you know, it doesn't have to be the whole one piece. You know, you could learn from this and you'll figure it out, believe me. So nozzles are pretty simple to take out, as you guys might know. Oh, look at that. That one came out automatically. No biggie. But basically here, they're kind of like a clip. So you got a little pressure point here. Press down on that, and it just comes through. Just like that. Simple. Now, the antenna on the other side. Let me roll this over a little bit that way. The antenna, we need to take out this cover here. So you guys can see here. This cover, we're going to pull it up. We'll take out the antenna itself too. I got a trusty pair of pliers since I'm not using that antenna in there anyway. This is a cool antenna though, because it's a little bit shorter than what they usually come with on the F2, F1, and F350 and F450. They tend to be a whole lot longer. So you guys see, this one is maybe about a foot, 12 inches long or so. But we're not going to be using that here. However, I may swap this one into the dually later on. Not today, but later on. I'm going to have to get some... Oh, actually, I have a screwdriver. I call this a screwdriver. Screwdriver. Flathead. Just like that. Pop it out. But I am going to need a different screwdriver. So, bear with me. Alright, so went ahead and got a bigger screwdriver and some trusty WD-40. Now, keep in mind, I am pouring some of this, but I'm doing it from underneath. And the reason for that is, you know, whenever you're going to work with fiberglass or any body fillers or paint or stuff like that, you don't really want any chemicals on there that could affect the way that the paint or whatever it is that you're applying reacts. That could really ruin a job, and not a job, but the work that you do. So let's see here, that little bit there of WD-40 and a bigger screwdriver. There we go. Bigger screwdriver, a little bit of WD-40 underneath. We're getting the first one out here, and I could see my friends here. Every time I come out here, I get visited by wasps. They like me. I have a history with insects, and the reason why I have a history is because a lot of my friends a couple years ago, they started calling me Spider-Man. There goes one of them wasps. And the reason why they were calling me Spider-Man is because for about 3 years consecutively, I was getting bit by spiders. Brown recluses. And on one of the occasions, I actually got, I would guess I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and got bit about 16, 17 times. I was out in the woods, and you know, I didn't think nothing of it because I didn't see them bite me. However, that stuff, those spiders, they I guess they inject some venom in you, and their little venom there actually starts eating at your flesh. And I know it sounds kind of cringe and, you know, it's kind of nasty, but it's the truth. And I had holes all over my skin, on my arms, my legs, everywhere. It was great. It was just gruesome. But yeah, I guess that earned me the name of Spider-Man. But yeah, what can I say? They tend to like me, I guess, because it happened that one time about, like I said, about 15 or 18 times. I can't even remember. But then the next year I got bit like 2 or 3 times, and Another year I got bit twice. It's horrible. But I'm very outdoorsy. I like, I like hunting. I like to go out there, and also four-wheeling. I did a lot of four-wheeling, which I kind of regret selling my four-wheelers. I had a few of them. And they're lots of fun. I love it. And who knows in the future how things go. I may eventually end up buying one again, because I don't know. I love getting muddy. I love having fun, and I'm all about it. But yeah, enough with those little ring-tink stories. Let's get back into this here. So you guys were able to see, I removed the antenna thingamabobber and the spray nozzles for the windshield washer fluid. So now we're going to do, like I said, we're going to clean this piece up with some acetone, and looks like there's some sort of wax here or something. Oh, never mind. It's just a little piece of rust on top of it. But yeah, so yeah, let's give this a little acetone and do a little cleaning here. Like I said, don't mistake, this is the one for this. Over here is my handy dandy one. Remind me, so that way I don't make the mistake myself and wipe myself off with acetone. That wouldn't be good. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Brand new acetone container. Dupla color. Yeah, that was easy. Okay. Got that there. Acetone, acetone, acetone. Or like I call it, nail polish or nail polish remover, is it? I think that's what they call it. Put a little bit of this here. Now guys, I know us boys, we like to do things the manly way. But I highly recommend that you actually use some gloves and possibly even a mask. At least do it in a well-ventilated area. As you guys can see, we're outside. So you don't want to be breathing in this stuff for prolonged periods of time. But yeah, so here we are. Now we're cleaning off basically this cowl, getting all the nasties off of it. Alright, so we have one clean part. That's part one. Now, like I was saying before, we have a lot of holes here. Okay, the holes where the wiper motor thingy comes out of. We got these here for the screws. We also have the holes from the spray nozzles here and here, and obviously we have the antenna hole. So yeah, as well as some up here, but those up top we don't really care about. So what we're gonna do now is, now that the surface is clean, we're gonna go and I'm gonna pull out my trusty friend here, Mr. Old Cardboard Box. This is from a little light fan that I got for one of our camping tents, just to keep us a little bit cooler inside the tents, especially, like I said, it's summertime here, it can be brutal. Start with that piece there. I want to cover y'all's view. There we go. And what we're going to do with this here is, I'm going to flip this bad boy over. Flip her over. And we're going to cover the
that hole, that hole, that hole, that hole, all the bigger holes, okay? So, little scissors, let's say, yeah. See how good pull it is. Plenty there. Yep. It's a little copy of this one, more or less. Maybe we could color the other windshield wiper hole. So, like that. So we have two of those now. While I'm cutting away, let me take a minute to show you guys my little friend. Yeah, hot glue gun. This thing has been with me for years. I did a lot of electronic work, and this is pretty good for holding certain things together when you're doing boards and little resistors and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take this little buddy here. We're gonna plug her in. That way she can start warming up. Okay, now she's warming up. These songs of freedom. Oh, here we are. Alright, and we're back. So let's see what we got here. A little bit of this here. Ooh. Let me tell you. One thing for sure. You do not want this hot glue to make contact with your skin. As you say, it doesn't feel all that awesome. Okay, here. This is the windshield wiper thingamajig. Remember, we're not going to have any of that on the race truck. If it was a street truck, then I would, you know, keep all that good stuff. That, and let's get this one here. Now this one, I need to be a little bit more mindful because it sticks out. So the best thing I think I'm going to do here is put the glue on the thing here first. So I'm just going to go by feel. I'm going to say it's going to be somewhere around the neighborhood. Let's see. Yeah, that's not good enough. This works here. Just like that. We have this one, yes. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. No, not that one. Okay, so let me just do the last one here on this side, which is the one for the antenna thing. That. Let's scoot it over this way a little bit now. To work on the other side here. And we need to do this one and that one, this one, and that one. Okay. So start here. Just like that. Boom. Here. Alright, so let's do the same thing on this one here. Play the guess game. No big deal. You don't want to touch that stuff, let me tell you. Fold this back here. So we got all those there covered. See, we did okay. Yep. Fold this back. And I think we're pretty good here for now for that part. So with that being said, let me go ahead and unplug this over here. Unplug it. Because I don't need it right now. And if we were to need it, we just plug it back in. Through the magic of editing, it'll be warm instantly. Alright, so let's give her a flip over here. And you guys can see all the bigger holes here are all covered, which is excellent. Alright. Very good. Now, I know we just did the acetone all over this thing, but we're gonna do it again, because while it was upside down I could see some marks there from the wooden table. I don't want that to be I want it to be what messes up the whole project. So, boy, this stuff is dingy. Alright. Just a little bit here. Yep. Alrighty. Now, let me just clean up a little bit here. And we're gonna go to the next step. Now, since we're going to be eliminating all these holes, basically, for when we do the fiberglass, the actual part, it's not going to have any of these holes. So what we're going to do is a little trick that I learned from an old friend of mine. He is an Australian paint body shop dude. taught me how to save a little money, and I'm going to pass on the info to you guys so you guys could also use this towards your advantage. That way you guys are not just blowing the money away. I mean, I know money ain't that easy to come by. At least I still haven't found a tree. I'm looking for one. I really have been. But yeah, let me pull over here our friend. Now, if you buy body filler, you know, Bondo or any brand, you're going to be spending a whole lot more money for what I call sandable waste. And what he taught me was joint compound. And what I mean by joint compound is the stuff you would use on drywall to cover, you know, little holes and whatever, or joints. And it's a whole lot cheaper to buy a big old tub of this stuff than it is to buy Bondo, and it's a whole lot easier to sand too. So we're going to be playing with that stuff in a little bit here, but for now what I want to do is, if I can find here, yep. I got some 80 grit sandpaper here. Yep, 80 grit. And what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna scuff up a little bit the areas where we're gonna be using this compound, like this whole area here, which we'll be filling and trying to level it like that so it doesn't have that dip, and all these little holes, and this area here too, all the holes we covered. Now the reason why we covered it is so that when we put the joint compound, it doesn't just fall down. It's backed up and it'll hold. So I'll be doing a little sanding here. You guys, I'll just fast forward you guys a little bit there. Good thing about this part is not huge, so I could stick this inside and let it cure, dry up. I'll just call it that way. So, compound joint stuff, joint compound. Get it backwards. I think I have a flat. Yeah, here we go. Hit screwdriver. It is new. So we got the joint compound here. Just like that. And have some handy dandy spatulas. Actually, let me use the bigger one here. Alright, thought I heard something. Yay, putty stuff. Great. I'll tell you guys. I used to love to play with Play-Doh. I sure don't like to play with body filler or this. Either way, but hey, whatever. It's
just do it for the vlog. Right? Yep. All right, so here goes nothing, guys. Let's attack the big sides here first. See, with this stuff, you don't have to be worried about, you know, it's gonna be too expensive to use all that, none of that. So. Put a little bit more here. That way you could fill in everything. All the little doodads. And of course we gotta do this anyway, so. See, with this stuff you don't have to be stingy. You know? Just hit it up, cover everything as much as you want. Because at the end of it, you'll be able to take it off.
That I can tear away, shoot me down, go fire away, away. But I'm a heavyweight, I'm a heavyweight, I'm a
I don't know if you guys could hear the thunder, but it's not looking too good. Yay! Alright. Oh, we still have the antenna hole. Let's just do the antenna hole area here real quick. There I go with my whistling again. There we go. There we go.
All right. Oh, on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday went by. It wasn't on a Thursday afternoon. All I could do was cry, and I made a promise that you'll treasure. I made it back home to you. How I've waited for this moment, rather than be by your side. Best friend Rosa told me you had teardrops in your eyes. Uh-oh, there it is. It's the raining man. All right, coal roller, so we're coming back a second day due to the fact that the rain did get us when we started this project. I'm just gonna go ahead and continue filling this out. As you can see, the first part that I laid down is already dried up. Some areas are cracked up. And today we're gonna be filling all those areas out, and we're gonna try to lay it in the, you know, the best possible way where it's where it seems to be most even. It's no biggie, because at the end of the day we're gonna have to sand and shape it accordingly. But yeah, we're gonna continue with this part, and we'll have to set it out to dry again. But let's see what else we could get into. All right, so here we go. Let's grab a little bit of this here. Yeah, it's like that. That should be plenty. And I'm gonna hit those areas that were cracked and opened up first, like these here. There's some of that stuff in there right there, like so. Like I said, we're just gonna try to smooth it out as nicely as possible. Okay. I know the camera won't be showing a lot of the areas due to the fact that it's all white, but just for your info, you guys can use a dye on the joint compound, much like the dye that you would use to add any color, like to a gel coat, fiberglass gel coat. That would work like real nice there, but it helps you see those high spots, and you know, when it's time to sand. However, kind of winging it. It's just for me, it's just a fun project. Like I said, I haven't touched fiberglass in many years, and it's gonna be fun for me, I guess, to do this little project. All right, guys, so as you guys can see, I have already covered the whole area. All the little holes and crevices are covered, and we have a nice, I would say maybe, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch thickness of material. Now, one of the reasons I laid it on that heavy is, like I said, you're gonna be sanding it down later on, once it's dried and stuff. And you're going to be shaping it, so a lot of that will go away once you sand it. But for now, I think this will do. I'm going to head and clean up a little bit and put this away so that way it could dry. I like to leave this type of stuff at least overnight, and you know, feel it out the next day, see how it is depending on the weather. Lately it's been raining a lot here in Florida, so you know, it could take a little bit longer. Because the humidity itself, it's really high. But this part is basically done for now, and I'm gonna take you guys over to the truck to see what our next step might be. So let's go over there. All right, guys, so as you guys could see, this panel here, the fender, it had been worked on before. Now, the person who worked on this was the previous owner. And they left it raw. They never went ahead and covered it with any clear or any paint whatsoever. So we got some rust on there. Now, these type of things tend to rust quick. So I am gonna give it a little light sand with some 80 grit. And we're gonna see how I could get it as smooth as possible. I may step up to a 220 or something like that. And unfortunately, it is starting to rain again. So same deal. I mean, it's probably gonna rust up a little bit, but it'll be a little bit easier to finish it off whenever we get back to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start on it.
You shot my conscience, flew up to the sky. Are you still giving? But now I'd ask you why. Say I'm different, let your words run out. I'm not desperate for your approval now. Oh, me and my shadow learn to let go. Oh, burning my fears now, stirring the flower. Keep falling, falling, and keep falling, falling. Thought I was gone, hanging on the edge, but now I'm come back like a goddess, like a
We did a little bit of sanding, so all these very rusty areas, just to get that principal stuff off, that surface rust. The reason why I did that is because, once again, that kind of stuff is kind of powdery and it won't let anything adhere to it. Now, our next step on this process here for this build, we're gonna have to wait for it to not be raining so that we could continue. But I'm gonna call it a day here, so I'll give you guys a shout out over in the studio. All right, co-rollers, so we're back in the studio, all cleaned up, fresh, dried up. As you guys saw, you know, we got hit by the rain. It was, you know, something that kind of I expected to happen, but not so soon. However, we did do some work. You know, we got some of that putty on the cowl, and we'll leave that to dry out. You know, obviously we had to put a stop to it due to the rain, and I'll continue at a further moment. But no big thing about that. It's just basically covering all the little holes and making it all even, because we're not gonna have those little holes when we do the full fiberglass front. So yeah, we did that. We also went ahead and sanded down that fender, which was looking a little bit dingy, you know, with all that rust on it from the work that was done on it previously by the prior owner. But we got that all covered up. You know, we were able to sand it down, and for our next video, we'll probably hit that up with some coatings, so that way it doesn't continue to rust. It was raining, so I don't know how much of what I did was worth it, since it'll probably rust up again. But at least it'll be a little bit easier to knock off whatever does accumulate over the week or whatever. But yeah, thank you so much as always for, you know, visiting the channel. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this little tutorial. I know lots of you like to do things on your own and, you know, try new things. Maybe this will help you get started on the fiberglass world. And like I said, it's been many years since I've done this, but definitely I'm looking forward to a challenge, and that's why I'm, you know, taking the risk and doing it. But I hope you guys are loving it. I hope you guys are enjoying it and getting some value out of it. It is my goal to at least, you know, give you something that you guys might be able to do in the future, and, you know, how to save and cut cost. But yeah, I guess that's it for today. I really appreciate it once again. And you know how I always say, let the coal roll.